John T. Unger came from a very noble family in Ritz, a little city on the margins of Mississippi River. John's 2 first years on Sara Middle School was very nice, and in the middle of the second year a quiet, handsome, and mysterious boy called Percy arrived. Percy invited him to stay at his family West House during summer. When they are going, he said, "My father is by far the richest man in the world. My father could buy all the richest men around the world and they wouldn't notice it. I like very rich people. The more someone is rich, the more I like them," John said.
In this night of June, 7 in the Transcontinental Express of Chicago, Percy and John arrived. After a long way traveled on the wagon, they entered in a very beautiful limo, and 1.5 hours later, they were at their destiny. On the way, they passed by a rock slope, where is the end of USA, wherein Rocky Mountains, where are the unique 8 square kilometers of land, and they are never mapped. Under the light of the stars, a stone castle emerged from the lakeshore. Everything in the castle was made of diamond or other precious material. They are having dinner when John listened to a calm melody, and so were counts in a sleep.
Mr. Washington's father was direct descendant of George Washington and Lord Baltimore. Fitz Norman Culpeper Washington was the name of this young man. He went to West, where he intended to buy lands and start a sheep and an owl flock. He got hungry, but was without his shotgun, and was forced to chase a squirrel. The squirrel escaped of becoming food and presented him with a big and perfect diamond. Later, he told his men that he had discovered a diamond mine, and they returned to Squirrel's Den quickly. All the mountain was a big diamond. 2 years later, he married with a lady from Virginia, and they had an only child. He was obliged to kill his brother, that for many times, being drunk, almost told the secret.
John went to the moss and saw a girl coming in his direction by the lawn, Kiss Minnie. She was the most beautiful girl he once saw. He had already known her sister Jasmine on the last night. John was very strict about women, and for the first time in his life, he was looking to a perfect girl. The two young were showing interest in each other.
Braddock and Percy showed the place to John. Their slaves had their own installations. For a long time, they lived in luxurious place. They continued walking by the prairie and arrived at the golf camp. There was a giant hole on the ground covered by an iron grid. John went to the board of the hole and listened to some screams that came from the wall. Braddock took a garden chair to the board and sat on it. The men, who were aviators, were trying to find a way to get out of there. They were digging tunnels, but it was impossible to get out. Braddock Washington was keeping two men there because he didn't want that the secret was revealed. He closed the hole again, and the only thing that they could see was the iron grid again.
In July, John and Kiss Minnie were in love. They had never kissed before, but it didn't matter. At night, they were wakened, dreaming in happiness they would like to marry as far as they could.
With the end of August, John mourned the return of classes. They had planned to go away and marry next June. She wanted to marry there, but wouldn't have father's permission. She said that friends of her sister came to visit them. Braddock removed them, and Jasmine continued writing letters to them. He drugged them while sleeping, and told their family they died in bed. After midnight, John looked at a figure in the room and felt a pain in his stomach. He saw 3 naked black men with Braddock and thought they were the killers. He found the sisters, and they knew that was the time to run away from there. They listened to a noise of airplanes. The Washington's Paradise was being attacked. The attack was commanded by an Italian that went away from there. They ran before the bombs exploded the mountain. Few hours later, the attacks were over, and they looked at the destruction scenario far from there. The castle was calm and dark, but even though it was very beautiful, the sisters were sleeping. At 4 a.m., John listened to footsteps and followed it. There were a defeated Braddock talking to God. John listened all the talk behind a big rock. He was bargaining with God to earn his fortune again. As a negative answer, the sky got darker and everything got silence around.
John asked Kismini to get her away before they went away to guarantee him some fortune. She took the wrong away. She was very tired of all those diamonds and she brought some stress. It doesn't have any value, as they have nothing more. They went to live in Ritz.